You can create beautiful vector designs like this right in your iPad, and I'm going to show you how. Join me as I take a simple sketch and turn it into a stunning vector using Affinity Photo 2 for your iPad step by step. Affinity Photo 2 is a great app to get started making vector designs. It's a good app to learn how to make them. It combines the raster-based digital illustrations that a lot of us are used to with the designer vector-based tools that are going to level up and literally scale up your art. We'll kick things off by mastering the pen tool to create this simple, elegant flower. Then we'll take those newfound skills and build this entire minimalist bear. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, let's get our digital studio ready. From the home screen, tap on New Document. I'm creating a custom canvas that's just 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels, and I'm setting it to 300 dpi. This is a great all-around size for both web and print, but feel free to use whatever dimensions make sense for your project. And since we're making a vector, the size doesn't really matter a whole lot. So just tap on OK and your canvas will open up. There are no extra studio panels or persona settings that we need to change here. In Affinity Photo 2, this canvas is already set up for both sketching and vector work, which is one of the reasons why I love this workflow, because you can use the same process in Affinity Designer, but you'll be switching between the pixel persona for sketching and the designer persona for vector work. And designer includes a much larger set of vector tools. So if you're new to vector design, Affinity Photo 2 is a great one to learn on. It keeps things simpler and less overwhelming while still giving you everything you need to create clean, scalable vector art. With that set up, let's start things the way we always do, with sketching out our idea first. Another reason why I like Affinity Photo 2, especially for learning as a beginner, is that it feels a lot more like Procreate. I'm going to add a new pixel layer, grab the brush tool, and I'm just using a simple pencil brush with black as my color, basically the foundation of every sketch ever. And while I'm sketching, I'm keeping things very loose and very simple. I'm not worrying about clean lines or perfection here. This is just a guide for my vector shapes, so I'm focusing on the overall silhouette and keeping the design very uncomplicated, since simpler shapes are always easier to translate into vectors. Now it's time to turn this sketch into a vector, and we're not going to be using any magic button or an image trace tool. We're going to do that by manually tracing with the pen tool, and that's a good thing. Learning how to use the pen tool is going to be really important if you're going to level up your art skills here. You learn how to get clean, professional vector artwork that you can actually understand and edit later. So first, I'm going to turn down the opacity of my sketch layer. I'll select the layer, tap opacity, and then set it to 50%. Next, I'm going to grab the pen tool. Before placing any anchor points, which are also called nodes, I want to make sure my stroke and fill settings are correct. Because this is a black line art drawing, I'm going to set my fill color to none and my stroke color to black. Then I'll set my stroke width to 5 points, and you can always adjust these settings later on, even after you've already drawn everything. You don't need to create a new layer before you start. As you place your first anchor point, Affinity will automatically create a new curve layer for you. So I'm going to start with the first petal. I'll tap at the base of the petal and place my first anchor point. Then I'll move along the curve, tap again. I'll drag slightly before lifting my Apple pencil. This is what creates the curve. You'll see handles appear that control how smooth that curve is. And I'm going to keep working my way around the flower, placing points only where the curve actually changes direction. Fewer points actually lead to smoother paths, so you don't need one at every tiny bend. So when you're done placing your anchor points on one part and you don't want to continuously make a line, just switch over to the move tool so Affinity knows that you're done placing anchor points for that layer. Later on, we're going to group them all together once we finish creating all of the vector lines. Now that the entire flower is traced, we can clean things up by adjusting the nodes and handles if you want. We're going to talk more about this in our next illustration, but you can switch from the pen tool to the node tool and adjust the node handles until the shape feels right. If you didn't place a curve exactly how you want it, but you can make these small tweaks to make all of the curves look a little smoother. And once it looks how you like, we can combine all of these into a single group. Right now, each component of our flower is in its own curve layer, which is totally fine while you're working, but grouping them together makes it easier to manage and export. So to do that, I'll open the layers panel and then quick select each of the layers, and then I'll go up to the 3 dots and choose group. If I were to merge them, instead of group them, it would convert my design into a pixel-based raster image, and that's not what I want to do here. At this point, I like to toggle my sketch layer off completely so I can see the finished vector clearly. So now let's export this. I'll tap on the document menu and choose export, and here's where the format matters. If you want a true vector file that stays infinitely scalable, choose SVG. And SVG is perfect for stickers, cutting machines, surface design, logos, literally anything, because it's infinitely scalable. If you want a high quality image for web or social media, you can also export it as a PNG. For this example, I'll choose SVG, and I'm just going to give it a little name and then leave all the other default settings and then tap OK. And then I just save it to my Files app. Because this is an SVG, I can't save it to my camera roll. When it saves to my Files app, that's perfect because then I can just export it to whatever other design program that I want to use this in. And that's it. That's taking a rough sketch and turning it into a perfectly clean, scalable vector design. And it's amazing that you can do all of this entirely on your iPad. So now that we're warmed up with the essential tools, let's go ahead and make a full color layered vector design. We're going to do that by illustrating this minimalist bear. This is all about building the illustration with simple shapes and bringing it to life with a little bit of color. But just like before, we're going to start with a sketch. I already have this sketch I made, and now I'll lower the opacity again. Now I'm ready to create the shapes of my bear, and the order we create our vector shapes matters, and we'll work from back to front, starting with the largest base shape. So I'm going to begin with the bear's body, the main shape everything else sits on. So I'll grab the pen tool, but this time I'm going to change my color settings. I want a color fill but no stroke. So I'll set the fill to brown and turn the line color off completely. And I'm also going to reduce the stroke width to 0. As I trace the body, I'll place anchor points around the entire shape, including the ears and the little tail. I'm not worrying too much about perfection yet. I know I can refine the shape afterward. As you're placing anchor points, it might look a little scary at first because the shape has a fill on, and Affinity fills the shape as you go, which means it can overlap and cross over itself and look completely wrong while you're still drawing. That's totally normal. At this stage, we're only defining the outline of the shape. The fill won't make sense until the path is completely closed. So even if it looks messy and broken partway through, just keep placing your points and follow the sketch. Once you close the shape, everything snaps into place and then it fills correctly. Now that it's closed, I'll adjust the curves using the node tool again. By default, nodes are going to be set to a smooth curve, which is great for rounded areas, but for places like the corners of the ears, I want a sharper change in direction. The technical term for these little handles are Bezier handles, and they control how the curve moves through a node. By changing the node from smooth to a corner node using these icons at the top, I can change the angle of the handles and get a cleaner, more defined ear shape. So now that the base shape is finished and all of the curves and angles are the way I want them to look, the rest of the bear comes together in the same way. So one simple shape at a time. Next, we'll add the facial features and the smaller details, stacking each new vector on top and adjusting the colors as we go. So I want there to be a patch of a different shade of brown for his face. So I'll just switch the color and complete it the same way that I did the base layer of his body. So I'm going to use the handles on the nodes to make sure it curves and angles the way I want to again. Using my sketch as a guide, making sure I'm staying true to the idea that I had. Next, I'll add the eyes and nose. These are just small, simple shapes. And again, using the pen tool with the fill color, but I'm going to switch to black. And typically for like a circle or an oval, it's just 4 points, and then you adjust the handles to create the shape that you want. So since it's an oval, I'm going to adjust them so it's not a perfect circle, but it's typically for a circle, it's just 4 points. So I'll create one eye, and then I'm just going to duplicate it and move it over to where the other eye is placed. I'm just keeping everything minimal. Simpler shapes always translates to better vector art. For the arm, I want this to be just an outline, not a filled shape. Right now, my pen tool is still set up for filled shapes, but instead of changing my settings right now, I'm gonna work a little, maybe I'll call it lazy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and trace the arm using the same settings as before, knowing I want it to look differently. Once the path is finished, I'll select that curve layer and then make my adjustments. First, I'll turn the fill layer off, and then I'll set the stroke color to black and increase the stroke width. This gives me the clean outline that I wanted. As I work, I can zoom out to check overall, making sure it's looking how I want. This is one of the benefits of working with vectors. I can nudge, resize, reposition any part without losing quality and without having to erase or redraw anything. So now that all of the pieces of the bear are finished, it's time to clean things up and make this illustration ready for use. You just do a quick select of each of the layers. Once everything is selected, I'll go to the 3 dots at the top and then tap group. This is going to keep everything editable. I can still use the node tool, adjust shapes or change colors. Nothing is flattened or rasterized. Once everything looks good, this design is officially ready to use. And again, you can export this as an SVG or a PNG. But those are your basics for vector design. We've gone from a rough sketch to a clean, scalable vector illustration, all on the iPad. You now have the core skills that are going to help you create any vector design that you dream up. And you can do this all without leaving Affinity Photo 2. But you also now have a great foundation to create even more complex designs using a program like Affinity Designer as well. But if you're interested in learning another amazing tool right here in Affinity Photo 2, I show you how to use the pattern layer tool to make beautiful, seamless patterns in this video right here.